John 4:34-38. Jesus said to them, "My food is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work. Do you not say, 'There are yet 4 months, and then comes harvest'? Behold, I say to you, lift up your eyes and look at the fields, for they are already white for harvest. And he who reaps receives wages and gathers fruit to eternal life, that both he who sows and he who reaps may rejoice together. And in this is that saying true, one sows and another reaps. I sent you to reap that for which you did not labor. Other men labored, and you have entered into their labors." Welcome back, everyone, to episode 5 here on Humble Beginnings. I hope everybody's doing really well today. As you can see, we're starting off cutting our own grass field finally. If we jump out here real quick and just take a look at the field, we're expecting about 120% yield across the board. Some spots are a little bit better at 122% out of 125. So overall, we should do pretty well, even for being, a field a little bit less than 3 acres big. But we're finally going to start reaping the rewards of our labor, and so I'm excited about getting our first cut in. As we get to cutting this grass, I just want to catch you guys up on kind of where we're at and what we've done so far. So as you can see, we're in October. We went ahead and skipped through September off camera. As you guys might have seen in the montage before the episode, we did a pea harvesting contract that literally took an entire day. Took absolutely forever, and we didn't even use a pea harvester. We leased ourselves a harvester. Here on field 3 is the one that we did. I mean, it's 21 acres. Granted, it's not a super small field, but we started harvesting that field at 5:30 in the morning, and we didn't get it done harvesting until 6:30 at night in game. So it took absolutely forever. One thing I did realize too, as we look forward to our own harvesting and our own field, is that it takes quite a while to drive across the map, even at 30 miles an hour, which is what our tractor goes. So our harvester sits in the field quite a lot, just waiting there. Now, granted, the harvester we're using only holds about 8,000 liters, but starting out, that's might be all we can afford depending on where we're sitting. And we either have to get a second tractor with an auger wagon, or we have to get a second tractor with a trailer that we're not sitting there waiting. Otherwise, it just takes way too long to move through a field at all, just because of how much we're sitting there waiting for a tractor to come back or for a wagon to unload. So I did take the liberty of doing a search for a tractor and an auger wagon. It was successful. I'm not sure all the nice. We're actually going to go ahead and buy this tractor right now. It's, what is it? It's 48% off. So this is the tractor I searched for. We're going to go ahead and buy this tractor right now. Okay, let's buy it. All right. We will do some upgrades on that tractor up at the shop once we need it. But given the deal that we are getting off that tractor, we can't pass that up. I'm really hoping between October and November to store up a good amount of money to be able to purchase a couple of pieces of land throughout the winter, move us into being able to focus on our own fields throughout spring with minor contracts, just to kind of offset some of the cost. But I want us to primarily be moving into, I would say, 70-80% of our own work in year 2. So that is the plan, that's the goal, that's the intention. Hoping that that's what's going to happen. I don't know what we're going to get off this hay field. Hopefully the hay will yield really well for us. We'll get a good amount of bales off of this. That'll help boost our income as well. So we're going to go ahead and get this all cut up. And then we're going to head up to the shop, because I purchased our windrower too. Let's just take a look at that. So I purchased our windrower. We got this for just under $13,000. Brand new, it's $19,000. So last month I found it on sale. We went ahead and purchased it. I talked about getting an auger wagon or another trailer. So honestly, I think that we might be better off just getting another trailer with our tractor versus an auger wagon. It's multi-purpose. It gives us a better opportunity to use something. It'll still keep us going. So I think that's the route that we'll go versus the auger wagon. But we'll see. We'll see what's available when that time comes. Right now, we definitely have other things to focus on. We got to buy a baler yet this year to bail this up. But thankfully, we have our windrow. It came on sale at the perfect time. The Lord bless us with that. So we're very fortunate. But let's go ahead and get this all cut, and I'll meet you guys back here with the windrow. Alright, so we went and got our baler. We went and picked up the tractor. So we did, we upgraded the tractor to the maximum horsepower. It's 225. Put some wider tires on it. And that cost us about $30,000. The baler was just under $13,000. So we spent quite a bit of money. We had to buy a trailer yet to move these bales. But it's a good long-term investment. So it's definitely going to help us in the long run and in the near future and in the distant future as well. So, yeah, that's what we went and did off camera real quick. Also, I just want to talk about what we did for the month of September. We made roughly $62,000, almost $63,000 in the month of September. We took 2 cultivating contracts. We took that P contract, which I had talked about, and then we did 1 hoeing contract as well. So overall, we ended up making just under 63 tithe, about $6,600. We had to, we had our rent as well on there, so it wasn't a terrible month. But I will say, doing the math on it, with the lease on the equipment that we did, and thankfully we had that equipment, because if we'd have had just a regular P harvest, it would have took us absolutely ages to get that done. We ended up actually spending half of what we made just on lease, because it took so stinking long to get it done. But it still brought income in. It still helped us out a little bit. So I mean, I'm not complaining overall. It was nice to have work for the month of September, because when I loaded into the map and started checking contracts, it was just P harvesting. That was it. I looked at the map for what was gonna come ready to harvest, and there was absolutely nothing ready to harvest for the month of September outside of peas and spinach. And I figured that we needed to at least take 1 contract in order to make a little bit of money. We couldn't just skip the month, even though is honestly what I was thinking about doing, was just skipping the month of September altogether. But I figured we'd do one thing and try to make a little bit of money anyway. So we did. And, we were able to put in a search for this tractor, which we found. We put in a search for the auger wagon, which even if we find it, I think we're just going to let it go. I think it's better for us just to manage 2 trailers versus an auger wagon and a trailer. Keep things moving along a little bit better. So we are going to hopefully pick up some sunflower contracts and some corn contracts. That's what's ready for this month. And so between the next 2 months, we should pretty much have everything on the map harvested. They're already starting to do some planting, so we got some sowing contracts coming up, some cultivating contracts that are ready. But we're going to go ahead and get this done. We are going to get our bales moved off the field. We're going to get it fertilized, and once we're done getting our field fertilized, we're going to go ahead and jump into contracts, and we'll sell our own hay before the end of the month. We can't keep it over the month. That was one of the rules that we set in the beginning, was we can't keep any product overnight or storing long term if we don't have the facility to do so. So our hay does have to be sold today, which that's okay. We're going to get it sold, But we'll do that towards the end of the day. We want to get into some contracts here pretty soon, as it's already 8:30. So hopefully by, 9:30 we'll be into our first contract. So I'm going to go ahead and get this finished up. I'll jump in with you guys once we start our first contract, and I'll let you guys know how much hay we've got. So I'll see you guys here shortly. Alright, well that's our first load at just about 34,000 headed up to the farmer's market. We're 37, almost 40% done with this contract, so we're getting along pretty well. It's going pretty well so far. As I was sitting here just some harvesting, one of the things I thought about was we got quite a few of these contracts available. And I think all of them are either corn and soybean. So otherwise the rest of them are pretty much corn or sunflower. One cotton contract, a couple soybean contracts. So I was thinking that maybe it might be beneficial for us to rent or lease a harvester from the field or from the shop and pick up a few of those contracts back to back versus only taking one at a time. I might get our other worker doing some planting. There was a sowing contract that I might get our other worker going on just to make some extra money this month, because I really want us to be able to buy some fields to focus on our own work for the majority of starting right away next year and next spring. So I'm going to look into some of that stuff, and we're going to keep getting this contract finished up. Once this contract is finished up, we'll see what time it is, and then we'll make a decision from there. Yeah, I had a bunch more of this episode recorded with some audio, but I realized that my mic was muted. So we're going to discuss the things that I was discussing when the mic was muted. So I got our hayfield all fertilized, and we got about 12 bales off that field. Comes up to be about 96,000 liters. We do have the yield tracker on this playthrough, so just under 96,000 liters. Hay is selling for about $57 per thousand right now. So we're not going to make a ton of money off of it, but we do have to sell it this month because of the rules that we set in place in the beginning of the series. No keeping any of our goods until we have a proper storage facility, and we don't have a storage facility right now, so we will be selling those at the end of the month. But I just want to catch you guys up on why we jumped into the contract right away versus when we started this contract, and that's because I had some stuff recorded when I first started the soybean harvest, but it had no audio, so I just scrapped that portion of it and continued on from there. So that's where we're at. We're going to go ahead and get this contract all finished up, and then we're going to look into seeing what's best, if we just lease a harvester or wait till next month, do some sowing, what kind of game plan it. We'll figure it out once this contract's all finished up. And just like that, our sunflower contract is all finished up. We're going to go ahead and finish collecting this little bit of sunflowers left, though. It looks like all that's left here should be ours. So we should make a pretty decent little profit off of this. Tractor should be coming. He doesn't keep messing around over there. Yep, he's coming. So let's go ahead and we're going to get to the end of the field here, and then we're going to jump into the contracts while we're unloading, and we're just going to go ahead and see what's available. It's we'll say 1:30 by the time we get this 100% completely finished up. So I mean, overall, I can't remember how long this field actually took us. I don't think it took too long. I think around 9:30, so about 4 hours. 4 hours in game. So we have enough time for maybe one more, maybe two more this month. Let's just go ahead and take a look and see what's in here. Harvesting contract. So we don't want cotton. We got sunflowers. We got 2 sunflower contracts. What is this? Soybeans. 2, 3 soybean contracts and a couple corn contracts. So, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and think about it. I'm going to get this guy sent off. He can go ahead and unload this at farmer's market. Go ahead, buddy. Why don't you go to the farmer's market, not the field man? Wait. Alright, anyway. We'll get him sent off. Go ahead and collect on the contract that we already have. Complete. Collect. It does appear that we do get charged an hourly rate for even utilizing the equipment from the farmer. I think it's still cheaper per field, but maybe multiple contracts it might be beneficial. So I'm going to do some thinking here real quick, and I'll catch up with you guys once I figure out what we're going to do. All right, so we went ahead and took another sunflower contract. We also went ahead and took a cultivating contract. So I got one of our other workers out on the cultivating contract. This worker is going to run cart for us again. I just took just utilizing the farmer's equipment. So just because of the time that we have left for the day, I'm just going to utilize the farmer's equipment at least for the month of October. Once we move into November, right away in the morning, I'm going to look and see what contracts are available. And if we got multiple contracts of the same, I'm just going to go ahead and lease something from the shop and try to get as many done as I possibly can throughout the month of November. So that's the plan. That was my thought process behind there. I didn't want to get stuck leasing and having too many contracts open and not being able to get them complete and taking the penalty later on, plus the leasing costs from the shop, which can be kind of hefty. And you know, I thought about we could always try to find a used one, but we just don't have any reason to purchase a harvester right now when the intent is to try and get fields. That gives us a whole nother, I don't know, almost a year to be able to purchase a harvester. So I don't want to, you know, even look for one used unless something really, really good would pop up. But I don't think we should focus on a harvester at all. I think land is a priority. So that was my thought process and reasoning behind what I'm doing. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and knock this harvest out, and we'll catch up with the guys here in a little bit. Well, we've got that contract all finished up. We did finish our cultivating contract. We also picked up a sowing contract. We'll jump over to this guy real quick and just see how he's doing. Plenty of seed, about 40% done. So he's doing pretty good. I think that'd be the last contract he does for the month of October. We're going to bring this over to the sell point, unload this. We're already at about 90% delivered, so most of this should go to our profit, but we'll see how much we get. So I'll catch you guys over at the sell point. All right, up here at the farmers market, we got about 12,000 liters of sunflowers. Let's go ahead and drop it off and see what we get. Nice. So we made about $7,100 plus another $1,000 in the environmental score bonus. So a little over $8,000 altogether. We made a little over $7,000 on the last contract from the harvest income as well. So overall, for those two contracts, we actually did really, really well. We spent quite a bit of money in the month of October, but thankfully with these good contracts, we are actually up, sitting at $85,000 out collecting that contract. So we're going to head back to the farm. we're going to grab our bales, sell our bales, and then we're going to pick up one more contract before the end of the month. We're going to go ahead and get that done. So I'm going to catch you guys once we get to the sell point with the bales, and we'll see how much we get off of our own harvest from our own hayfield. See you guys shortly. All right, up here at the animal dealer, let's go ahead and unstrap. I'll see if it just takes it off the trailer. And it does. For a total of, well, it's a little over $7,000 for the hay, a little over $1,000 for manual score, so about $8,400 overall. Not too bad for our very first harvest. That's all 100% profit to ourselves. You know what, let's just go ahead and drive straight off this cliff for now. I don't feel like going all the way back around. All right, so we are going to go ahead and prepare for the soybean harvest. We collected or took a soybean harvest over here on field 13. No, that's the, I'm sorry, on field 31 over here, not too far from the shop. So we're going to go ahead and drop this trailer off. We're going to grab our trailer, go up to the shop, grab the combine, and then we're going to go ahead and get after the soybean harvest. And that should finish up the month of October for work and time that we have available for us. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything set up, and then I'll jump back in here and catch up with you guys shortly once we get started with the harvest. We got ourselves a soybean contract. This will definitely be, or more than likely should be, the last contract for the month of October. Honestly, I would say for the money that we've ended up spending, we have done very well. I'm very pleased with moving through the month of September, the month of October. I mean, if we look at the finance screen, even just preliminary to kind of see where we've been, I think we've done pretty well. $14,000 in harvest income, $61,000 in contract income, $7,200 in our sold bales. So overall, we have done pretty well. Plus, we'll finish up this contract. Hopefully, make a little bit off the harvest income as well, plus the contract money we have. So honestly, we're going to be really close to the number that we started with in the very beginning of the episode, around that $140,000 mark. So I'm pretty pleased. I'm pretty happy. I also want to talk a little bit about the intro verses from the start of the episode in John chapter 4. And when we're talking about the harvest, you know, one of the things is, given the episode, is, you know, we're harvesting our own hayfield for the first time. And it's a great thing, as we had to wait, you know, 3 months in order for the crops to grow, to be able to be harvest ready. And harvest, you know, in our life, the way that we view it is, you know, our crops that we get to bring in, you know, things that we planted that get to come to fruition, whether it be a garden or it be an actual, you know, a larger field. But the context that, you know, Jesus was talking about when he was talking about the fields are ripe with harvest, he was talking about how there's people out there whose heart are ready to receive him, and the harvest is ripe. The fields are ripe with harvest. The harvest is ready. And there's another verse that talks about, he says, the harvest is ready, but the laborers are few. He says, pray to the Lord of harvest that he will send laborers. And that's what we are called to do as his children. And we're called to go out into the harvest field. We're called to go out and plant the seeds of the gospel. And then, you know, some plant, some water. And we might be the ones that plant that initial seed. We might be the ones that water that seed that's been planted already. But we're all part of the same harvest. And as we go out and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, you know, amongst the world, whether it be through a video game, whether it be through a job or, you know, a hobby that we enjoy, it doesn't matter what we utilize. God can utilize any platform. You know, this is a testament of what God can do through just a simple video game, and how he can utilize this as a platform to spread his gospel. And, you know, even in this community, even in this farm sim community, You know, I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who are, you know, true believers, and many that might not be, you know, and that's what we're here to do, is spread the gospel to both. We're here to encourage one another and just spread the truth and love of Christ. And this is our harvest field, you know, and I pray that the harvest is plentiful, it's abundant, it's daily, and that God's kingdom, even through this platform, just continues to get increased day by day. And his gospel falls on good ground. You know, we can talk about how there's a parable of the sower and the seed, and it talks about the ground that it falls on. You know, we utilize precision farming to analyze different, we use it to analyze different soils within our field, right? And how some yield better than others. And that's exactly how it is with our hearts. And sometimes that, you know, the gospel falls on really good ground, a really soft heart. And sometimes it's just planted on the top of the surface, and sometimes it's got to work its way in through rain, being watered, right? Other people coming through and being a testament and a testimony of Christ and who he really is. But this is our harvest field. This is my harvest field. This is where God has called me right now, and amongst many other things, but this is one of the things God himself has called me into. And I just really pray that, you know, through this platform, through his word, and through this gameplay, that it'll reach a large community, and that it'll grow his kingdom, and the harvest will be plentiful. So I just want to share that with you guys, kind of expound upon what the verses of the day were, and, you know, what Christ is really talking about. Yeah, I feel like it's fitting for our episode, given that, you know, we're harvesting right now, and we also had the opportunity to harvest our own field this morning. You know, it didn't happen overnight, but it did happen, and it was a blessing nonetheless. So we're going to go ahead, and we are going to get this contract all finished up. I'm going to do a time lapse of this harvest, and I'm going to catch you guys when we're all done, and we'll look at overall what we've accomplished for the month of September and October. And we will also go ahead and take care of our tithe and get ready to move into the month of November. So enjoy the harvest, and I'll see you guys here shortly. Just about finishing up here with the soybean harvest. We're going to go ahead and just bring this over to the tractor. We'll shut all the drive off. We'll unload this ourselves and then take it over to the sell point all on our own. It actually went pretty quick. I think just about 2 hours, just under 2 hours to harvest this. I'm not sure who this was for. For Katie. Soybean. Get another soybean harvest for Katie as well. Goes to the farmer's market. It is closer to the farmer's market. Maybe we'll go ahead and take that since it's the same equipment, same person, same crop. I think we got plenty of time to go ahead and get this done if we head up there right now. Yeah, let's do that. We're going to go ahead up over to the next field. I'm going to go ahead and catch you guys when we get up there. And we'll knock this harvest out as well. And then that should bring us to the end of October. So I'll catch you guys here in a minute. Alright, so we're back up here at the second field for Katie. This is about 6 acres. This shouldn't take too long at all. So let's just go ahead and bust it out. Just like that, one more contract done. That actually took literally like no time at all. I think either way, being that it's 9:30, we got to make it to the sell point. We're gonna get to the sell point, get it sold, check our income, do our finances for the month of October, go to sleep, get ready to move into the month of November. So we're gonna go ahead and get this unloaded. I'm gonna grab this little scrap strip right here, just because we got to go past it anyway. Looks better whenever we get the entire field all cleaned up, if you know what I mean. So get this harvester unloaded. Hopefully it all fits inside of one trailer, which 78% I'm gonna guess it's not gonna. So we'll have to take more than one trip, but that's okay. Could be a good sign for us that we'll get a little better income off it. So alright, let's go ahead and shut that down. Let's hop into our tractor here. Wow. And I will catch you guys at the farmer's market. Alright, we're just getting up here with our first load. Now I know in FS25 you could do this and it would finish one contract moving to another. So I'm hoping that it does the same thing here. It doesn't shaft us or short us, but 34,000 liters of soybeans going in. One contract finish and didn't give us any money, so that's good. Looks like it's covering the other contract right away. So let's go ahead and get to the field, grab the rest of it, and come see what we get. And we're back up here at the farmer's market with about 3,700 liters of soybeans. Go ahead and drop that off. And it didn't finish the contract. Alright, so I just went ahead and easy depth controlled some soybeans in there. We needed literally less than 1,000 liters of soybeans, so I'm not sure what happened with the contract. From what I can tell, we harvested every bit of soybean that was out there. Sometimes that just happens with contracts, but I think it gave us like $800. I couldn't stop it fast enough, so we got an extra $800 for our trouble, which I'm not going to give it back. I'm just going to leave it be. I didn't allow it to dump the whole 5,000 liters I put in there, so I wasn't sure how much we'd need. Like I said, we needed less than 1,000 liters, so we got both those contracts done. Let's go ahead and pull over here real quick We'll leave our flashers on since it's nighttime. Go ahead and collect those contracts right away while we're here. Okay, collect. How's it going? All right, let's go ahead and check our finance tab right away too while we're here. So we already tithed for the month of September. I took care of that off camera. So we have $72.89, $14,989, $77,000 in contract income, for a total of $99,500 made for the month of October. So we'll go ahead and tithe off of that. We had to include our rent, so a little over $10,200 we're going to be tithing for this month. So let's just go ahead and take that out right away. And there we go. So we have done very well for the month of October. Getting to those grain harvests has helped quite a bit. Definitely looking forward to hopefully a few more of those for the month of November, which should really project us going forward into winter months, being able to buy some land and preparing ourselves to start making our own profits and being able to minimize the contracts and maximize our own work. So I just want to share a verse with you guys before I take off here. In Romans 5, it's Romans 5 verse 8. It says that, but God demonstrated his love towards us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Just want to remind you that you don't have to be a perfect person or be a good person in order for God to find you or to give your life to him. He calls you as you are. He came for you just as you are, knowing that we were all sinners when he died for us. He's the one that, so that he will cleanse us from all unrighteousness. So I just want to remind you that God loves you. He's calling out for you. If he'll save me, he'll save you. We're all in need of a savior, and Christ is the only one that can save us. So if you guys like the episode, please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys here on the next one.